So this looks interesting. Okay, so this is definitely it. I love how they managed to cram Left 4 Dead zombie virus into Half-Life 2. Yeah.
I regret you have become part of it, and yet I confess I am gladdened by your company. Too much solitude is not good for a man who, like myself, wishes only to serve. But I have been good for nothing of late.
Oh my god, they're milking those head... Bro, they are milking these head crabs. That is weird. What is going on here with that? So is that how they got the cure, is to milk these things? That's crazy.
And like this town, it must be closed. Now I cannot claim great wisdom, yet through much trial and error, I have found a way to immunize myself against the demon's neurotoxins. Homeopathic principles, you understand.
Homie just shot the virus taken directly from them to immunize himself. That is insane. Even just thinking of trying that in just this weird setup here is nuts.
We have time for a quick bite. Supping on nourishment quite plentiful in Ravenholm. Would that it were otherwise. If one is sufficiently famished, the white meat is tolerable. I will make no comparisons to poultry.
Bro even eats them. Well, apparently they can't infect you just by eating them. That's crazy. I mean, true control. I mean, but you would think it would have some sort of effect of some sort, and it can't be good. I mean, it's got to taste horrible.
Ah, there you are. Peculiar tendons. I'm quite immune to their bite. Days I hardly even notice them. For the beacon, I will try to provide some illumination. I have prayed for assistance with this particular task, and tonight my prayers were answered. But this has ceased being about them. Truth be told, brother, I fear for myself, and now for you as well. The beacon exists to send out a signal. It will be a guiding light to all who have eyes to see. No time. We are safe here no longer. They have surrounded us like water. They have seized away our day.
Damn. And then homie just straight up has to leave. That's crazy. So, given that you can eat them, I suppose, yeah, there's a lot more food than you think. I mean, homie's straight up making like smoothies and soup and cutting it up and putting it into making it into whatever, man. That's crazy.
Oh, brother, don't wait for me. I will find you after dealing with this dark one.
Yeah, I mean, they are kind of like parasites, and I guess they are kind of like rats. But you would think it would make you sick if you ate it. I mean, they have some sort of enzyme that turns you. I don't know. I would just I would rather eat rats. So I would just start farming rats, in my opinion. Oh, People eat roadkill. They do indeed eat roadkill. That is true. That is true, Control. I mean, people eat some random crazy things. That is absolutely 100% true. Now, it doesn't mean it's a good thing to eat and that it won't make you sick. That is also true. Got got stomach acid like a dog that can break down anything. I mean, yeah, it's basically like being a buzzard eating carrion, but humans don't have that though. So that's what makes me kind of wondering about that. So they're also cannibalizing each other. That also makes me think that it would turn you, but I don't know, maybe not. Oh, never mind. I'm mistaken. That's a dog. Okay. And that's another thing. Can they infect like animals and stuff, like dogs and things? Maybe not. Maybe they just don't fit around them, and so they can't infect them. What's the head crab gonna do? Send mini parasites to infect you? I mean, yes. on the biological level, yeah, absolutely they can. There's plenty of parasites that do that. I mean, we have them in the real world, like in the Amazon and stuff. So, yeah.
Okay, a couple of notes on that. The gameplay you just saw was actually recorded by Sebastien Meton. When I did the original recording with Shadowplay on site, there was no gameplay audio. So he went back and recorded that for me. The rest of the gameplay you're about to see was played by me. So if you have any problems with it, feel free to hit me up on Twitter, I guess. So a couple of things there. First of all, this game wouldn't have starred Gordon Freeman. I know the introductory animation of him getting up had the HEV suit, but they said it was going to be a completely different character. At the end of the gameplay section, you're about to see.
So it was going to be a different character, but probably with an HEV suit as well. If Gordon Freeman can survive getting jumped by poison head crabs, I'd say normal humans will do just fine. I mean, we've seen that people just roll over when they get them. Gordon Freeman is special in some way. We see that with G-Man talking to him all the time. So I don't know. He might have some sort of special deal going on with him. It's maybe because it's like his destiny or fate. You know, who knows?
Though there is something from Half-Life 2, something that was unused. Victor Antonov, who is the art director on Half-Life 2, he's worked with Arkane a bunch. He's friends with Sebastien Meton, a bunch of the folks at Arkane. He had a concept for Half-Life 2, which was this sort of windmill structure, which never actually got used in Half-Life 2, so they used it in Ravenholm. You'll see Grigori sort of tinkering with it at the end of the next section. But the biggest thing to look at in this gameplay section is the introduction of the sort of melee and physics, I guess, combat system they have here. Arkane made 2006's Dark Messiah of Might and Magic, which was a game where you could...
Gordon Ramsay has the magic healing power of God. Well, that is a crazy statement there. But yeah, I mean, Gordon Freeman, G-Man has stated that he has some sort of special, like, destiny, and he just has to accept whatever that destiny is, which you can, depending on how you play the game and what decision you make at the end of the game, you can either go with him or stay behind. Um, if I remember correctly, if you decide to stay behind, I think you get teleported to that outer world, right? And then you have to go through there, and you end up coming back still. But you when you accept it, you just take his hand, and he takes you to who knows where. I remember that. Um, but yeah, honestly, I just think Gordon Freeman is special in some way. Then how come Barney survives Blue Shift like a god too? I thought only Morgan Freeman had those powers. You mean Gordon Freeman? But yeah, um, I'm sure there's other people because if you play Half-Life Alex, I know it's technically not whatever, and who knows if it's canon. But she ends up being able to take his hand and do the thing as well. So Alex also has that ability to do that if she really wanted to. She ends up not doing it if you so choose. But then you go back in time and it starts all over again. So who knows? I mean, if she had accepted, maybe nothing would have changed, and she would have just taken the place. Who knows?
Use spells and use melee attacks to stagger enemies and knock them off cliffs and stuff like that. And they basically pulled that into.
Okay, so this is that other game. I played that game, Chad. It's fun, but we don't need to be seeing that. We're strictly trying to learn about Half-Life. I am liking that we can melee with the guns. G-Man goes Asante Sana squash banana. Give me your life and I'll bring back Freeman. And Alex does it like a fool. I think you get to choose once again, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I mean she does in that particular part. And who knows what ends up leading to that? I mean, we'll have to do one on G-Man because we don't really know what his whole thing is throughout the games. What is his purpose? Why is he here? And he seems to have like otherworldly powers as well. Like he can just go into other areas and just walk out and leave somehow into another plane. Like what's up with that? I mean, is homie God or what? Or but he also works with people who are above him. So I don't know. The G-Man is the middleman. He is not in charge of anything. He just relays what he can and makes sure stuff gets done. Yeah, and that's what I was getting at. Is he's not the highest part of that rung. He does say specifically that he has people above him. Yeah, and that he shouldn't involve himself, but he does. I mean, just by showing up to them and offering whatever it is he's offering, that changes things. So I don't know. Maybe he's an outlier in it all. Even we don't know. As far as I know, I don't know. If you know, let me know. But I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you're right. He's just a middleman. But there's some other entities out there that are above him, for sure. He's like the genie from Aladdin, granting wishes without people asking for them. Yeah, no, he definitely is kind of like that. Yeah, I would agree with that. That's a good way of putting it, for sure. But he definitely has some ulterior motive of some sort that we don't know. Yeah, he does have magic powers. That's what I was getting at. Like he can like walk into another friggin' plane of existence and go in and out anywhere, even like secured areas of in the world, like some of the bases and Black Mesa and stuff, just pop in there at the drop of a pin. Like, yeah, he's definitely magic. But what is the magic and why? That's that's the thing. Another thing I'm noticing is they basically replaced the crowbar with being able to melee with whatever weapon you have, which I think is nice that you don't have to switch. But at the same time, like, where's our crowbar? Like, we've had this crowbar throughout so many games. You just gonna not have it no more? Even though it's not Gordon? Like, come on. At least put it in there as like a little Easter egg or something. I know it's a game that's never been released or whatever, but that's my 2 cents in that. It makes the most sense for him to be an alien in the form of a human, given his speech patterns and almost uncanny look to him. I mean, yeah, but who's to say he's not just some humanoid alien thing? You know what I mean? He could be. He could just be like some type of proto alien thing that can take the shape and form of whatever. Who knows? He might even be offering this stuff to some of the other races that are in here. Who knows? Maybe even the Combine. Maybe that's how they end up getting screwed over. I don't know. He might be completely bullshitting everything and just F's people over for fun. I mean, yeah. I mean, since we don't know anything, hardly anything about this guy, yeah, absolutely, he could be doing that. Maybe he's not even a part of whoever he claims to be a part of, and he's just some outside party who knows about them and wants to be the top dog of it or something. Who knows? There's all kinds of things that he could be after. And maybe he thought Gordon Freeman would be the way to have his nice, good ticket, right? To being up at the top and taking over. And maybe he's pulling, I don't know if you guys have watched One Piece, but maybe he pulls an aim here and he becomes like the god of all of them. And that's his whole deal, to rule over basically everything. Who knows? All I know is that I would not trust that guy, even a little bit. Not an inkling. I know he's got some sort of weird, messed up kind of attitude. So I just wouldn't trust him to begin with. I would just not want anything to do with him. Period. I mean, Free the Man Gordon is the perfect sucker, and G-Man knows it. Just slaps the dude into the random situations and goes, figure it out. And he always does. Yeah, he does. I mean, I don't know if it's canon that he's probably the smartest man on the earth, but he probably is. I mean, just all the things that he does and goes through and figures out. I mean, it, yeah, it's us and doing game mechanics, but yeah, he probably is, and he's probably trying to manipulate him into doing whatever he needs him to do. Absolutely. And I'm Gordon Freeman probably does, and he never really makes a decision until the end of the game. And it's only yes or no. So, depending on how you play, yes, he's dumb in that way if you choose yes, but he might just be really smart enough not to want anything to do with them if you choose no. So, I'm also assuming that all of these normal looking guys probably have head crabs, or is this before that happens? And I don't know. It's kind of weirding me out a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I know it's an unfinished product. I'm just saying it's annoying me just a little bit. What we're basically just seeing is a lot of the same. Can we? Let's see. Just kind of want to move on a little bit. Get out of this area. Okay, so now we're outside.
Reaching the east wing. Likely a breaker I missed. I'll need your help finding it. Once you throw the switch, power in the east wing will be restored, and we can proceed. Go that way, brother. I have a radio that will patch me into the hospital's intercom system. I will try to keep you company along the way.
All right, here. So he said at the east wing. So this is the east part that we just went through. And it does look quite a bit different. So I wonder if they just decided, we don't care what happened at that last game in Half-Life 2. We're just going to remodel it and make it look nice or whatever. That is interesting because that means they might not have cared enough to make things the way that it should have been. Like, I don't know. Okay, for starters, that would have been really awesome to have areas like that where you just break the door down like that. It's just like a glass door that you're just like, yeah, I'm going into the hospital now. And you just smack it open. That's pretty nice. That's a nice touch. I like that.
Okay, we head into the hospital facility. It's got an asylum and a lab in it. A couple of notes on this. First of all, Sebastian said that the team went to great lengths to make sure that there was sort of architectural variety in this area. So while the facility we go into right now is going to be in the sort of 60s style with dropped ceilings and stuff like that, in later chapters you spend some time in the 19th century sort of original facade of the building. And he said, yeah, it was important to basically give it a little bit of texture so it didn't feel like you were corridor crawling through the same type of areas for a long period of time. But the showstopper in this section is the introduction of Arkane's really remarkable electricity gameplay. It's going to escalate as we get through the chapters, so this is pretty basic stuff, but once you see it, especially if you haven't seen our documentary and this is the first time you're seeing it, it's pretty special and cool and fun, so enjoy.
So one thing I want to add is this is the first time I've seen this, and it is interesting, and Ravenholm does feel, because I just got done playing it and playing through this section anyway, and it is a lot more corridor based, except for when you get on top of buildings and stuff. But here it seems to be a bit more open. They probably did it on purpose, so they probably changed the style of the buildings as well because of that. Which, I mean, yes, is good, but also it makes it feel weird in like a different place, in my opinion. But hey, that's my 2 cents. Alright, that was pretty awesome. Watching them turn to dust just by crossing electricity. First of all, it would not be strong enough, even in a hospital, to turn you into ash. But that's an awesome touch, I have to say. So what I'm thinking here is you would be going through and there would be a lot of puzzles here with conductivity, because it just said use metal and water to propagate electricity. So there's probably a bunch of puzzles in here that require you to do that, and maybe double them as traps, which is pretty awesome in my opinion. I kind of like it. Kind of wish this came out. It would have been interesting.
Are you inside, Austin, brother? Perhaps not. I cannot hear you, but maybe my voice will give you some comfort. Stringing cables. You should be nearing the place where the power can be restored to the East Wing.
Now, what is this gun? This gun is crazy, and it has like knives on the belt. It is that the ammo for the gun? It looks interesting. I'm kind of, but I thought it was like an energy gun, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's like some sort of knife projectile gun. Okay, nail gun. But I wonder if you can still use it as the melee. Is that right? Do you know? I see that you just said it's a nail gun. I didn't even realize it until I read the screen. Like an idiot, you know. Not paying attention, looking at the graphics and stuff, and not looking at the props. But yeah. I do want to state that Quake 1 had a nail gun, and it was a lot cooler than this. I will say that. I think this is like an upgraded version of the crossbow, is what they were going for. I mean, it still looks interesting, even though it's not fully done, but it's still not as good as that. That's just my opinion. It just seems kind of lame in comparison. And that came way before this game. But it does make an interesting puzzle solution thing. So I do wonder if you can go back and grab the nails. That would be interesting. That would make it worth having, if that was the case. But this gun is very useful. I can see that already. That this gun would be probably one of the best ones. What does it say? Also for the G-Man, who's to say Gordon couldn't beat the G-Man? It was shown throughout that he was like this, omnipresent figure that can come and go as he pleases, able to stop time and freeze people in space. But then it was shown he wasn't as powerful as he seemed. It only took like 10 to 12 vorts to hold him off, and only 2 to free a person from the freezing effect. If Gordon had some vorts with him, he could trap the G-Man momentarily and then get some good licks in. Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree with that. The vorts are crazy good, and especially in numbers. Absolutely. I honestly, if them and the humans work together, during this whole incident, like a shit ton of Vorts, bro, they would have been able to take care of pretty much anything, in my opinion. They can get through and shut down generators. They can zap all the energy out of stuff. They're incredibly useful. Absolutely. I agree for sure.
Praise the lights, brother. You did it. Electricity flows into the East Wing. I can see the lights from here. There must be a breach deep in the hospital basement. You'll have to cross the entire East Wing, then drop into the basement. It will be a long journey, brother. I will do my best to keep up your morale.
Yo, he is the ultimate hype man for you, whoever the player character is. And I love it. I love this character. He is awesome. He should have been in it more. He should have been our companion or something. That would have been awesome. This could also mean the G-Man and the Vorts could share similar powers, the Vorts just holding a lesser power since it's spread out across all of them. The G-Man actually seems surprised that the Vorts could do that. He literally has to do a double take when he first sees it before becoming frustrated. Yeah, no, absolutely. I do think they do have the same sort of abilities, but they are more of a hive mind, and they do explain that, which makes sense. But he is probably some sort of higher being that just naturally has it for himself and it doesn't need others. So that's what makes him more powerful, except when they have numbers. I agree with that for sure. 100%. Imagine getting outplayed by funny green aliens. Yeah, I know, right? That would definitely take your morale down quite fast. But I mean, it's true. I mean, even in the lore that we've seen before, even in Half Life, they were there, and they were no joke. They were pretty hard to kill. They really were. So yeah, absolutely, I agree. It is a fitting thing that happened for sure. Absolutely. They were literally a slave race for the longest time. Yeah, no, that's true. That was shown as well. Yeah. Who knows? Maybe even they gained the ability to use it, like G-Man and them gained the ability to use it from them. It could have just come straight from them, and they found a way to use it themselves. Very well could be the way it happened. Maybe they enslaved them. Yeah, agreed. Honestly, I think that is kind of the case. And I think that is what is implied a little bit, and why the reason why um, that even G-Man and the others would have this ability. It was because they used them like batteries. Yeah, that is a theory I've had for a very long time. since they can naturally create power. Right. And imagine that amount of power is quite useful in just about every aspect of anything, right? So technically, electricity can do so many things. And having the ability to manipulate it, create it, and do all that and utilize it, that's huge. That is insane. You might be able to use time travel or fly or all kinds of crazy powers just from using electricity. Absolutely. Oh, true. They do heal instantly as well when damaged. Instantly start damaged machines. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm talking about. Like, electricity can do so many things. It just depends on how you're able to use it and utilize it and make it happen. Um, Even just like the smallest amount might be necessary for some crazy thing to happen. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy physics. It really is. And we can't forget that they can open interdimensional portals, right? With this ability. That is insane in of itself. But all the other things they can do with it at the same time, no brainer. Like I'm mentioning One Piece again. If I had a devil fruit that I wanted to have, which is basically the same thing, it's just a fruit that you eat that gives you powers. I would have Enerus, which is just an electric fruit. It gives you the ability of electricity and to become electricity. Think of all the applications that you could have with that. That would be insane. You would be able to do basically anything. Just eat a bunch of Zen crystals. The fact that the Nylinth alone could stave off the G-Man and the Combine is scary enough as it is. Yeah, was more powerful than the G-Man himself, and Gordon was able to kill it. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So I don't know whether he was actually being fooled by it. I don't, personally, in my head canon, I don't think so. Personally, I think Gordon Freeman has his crazy destiny of whatever it is, and it has nothing to do with whatever G-Man wants. And he is smart enough to see his through his deceits and lies and whatever, and get through whatever he needs to. That's my headcanon for this whole thing. And the Nylanth wasn't even a bad guy. It literally warned Gordon about the G-Man and the Combine. No evil entity would be like, hey, I'm dying. Watch out, these two guys that are gonna screw the earth. Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree. Yeah, no, he wasn't a bad guy. He might have been on the wrong end, as in like his own objective didn't agree with everything else that was going on. He had some other way that he was going to do and make good on everything, but it ended up the way it ended up, with Gordon killing him because it was misunderstood, or we were tricked by G-Man, or whatever the case may be there. But yeah, no, absolutely. Honestly, I like to think everything is gray. So yes, there are bad things, but there are good things as well. But good and bad things can happen out of both of these things, right? He did enslave an entire race, but it was for the greater good. Right. And that's what I'm getting at with the whole gray thing, right? So in a gray thing, like, it might seem like it's the only way to make something happen for the better of everything, but it's not necessarily good, right? Because you have to do something terrible to make it happen. And that's what we refer to as gray. I mean, who knows whether Gordon's thing was the right thing to do either? Who knows? Maybe that just led to worse things happening. We don't know. Combine and G-Man got shoved by the giant floating baby. Yeah. Yeah. That's right. It's true. See, this is a really cool kind of mechanic in theory, but if it hurts you, it could really, really screw you over real bad. So this gun is cool, but I'm really leaning towards the fact that I might not use it except to only do puzzles. Because if that electricity can actually hurt you, that would be so detrimental, and it would make me not want to use this gun. I don't know about you guys, but that's my opinion on that. Yeah, and see right there, it just hurt him. So I don't know that I would want to actually use this gun except to do the puzzles, because that could backfire real bad, real bad.
Okay, we move ahead onto the next chapter of the game entitled Swarming. Just a quick couple of notes here. First of all, you may have heard some new music. Sebastian said that they did actually compose an original score for this game, so much of that stuff is here, and I think it's the first time some of it's...
Yeah, but it only does damage after you stand on it for a bit. Okay, so that is different. Okay, I get it. So, but yeah, because I hadn't seen him take damage from it except until there. But yeah, that's what I was worried about, was he actually supposed to be taking damage there? Okay, I get it. That's fine mechanic, but it also takes some of the realism out of it. Normally, you would just get the shit shocked out of you. That's what would happen. All right, let's not fool ourselves. Stop that. I'm a welder. I've shocked the shit out of myself just setting up my thing before. So trust me, I don't.
ever been heard, which is pretty cool. On top of that, there's a couple of interesting mechanical innovations here. It's not in this build, but Sebastian said that later builds of the game had it so that when the zombies are pinned to the wall or pinned to the floor, that they could pull their arms out of their sockets and keep chasing after you, or presumably pull their feet off of the bolts when they're wedged to the floor, which is pretty cool. And there's another element of...
That would be awesome and terrifying. And it would add a pretty good difficulty. You know what? I'm pretty sold on that aspect of this. That would be dope. I want to see more games have something like that. And we really don't see anything like that in games. At least none of the games that I've seen. And I've played, God, I don't even know how many games. More than I can count. I can tell you that for sure.
The electronic play that happens here that you should keep an eye out for. So other objects in the world that are metallic are able to conduct the electricity, and
imagine electric chair like that, but instead of one big blast, it's a ton of tiny ones. They just tape a 9-volt battery to your tongue. What do you think would kill you first? Starvation or the electricity? No, it's true, but clearly by seeing exactly what we're seeing right here, that is a lot more than a 9-volt. A lot more. Okay? This is more than you would have like operating your fridge, which can shock the shit out of you, stop your heart, and kill you. So I'm just saying.
And there's lots of that sort of gameplay and gunplay happening here. Obviously, I'm only able to play the game through once this section, so keep an eye out for other ways I might have been able to complete some of the puzzles.
Brother, you are still alive. I just saw you pass.
I mean, electricity, when you get electricity introduced to you, you always have the risk of how it affects your heart. It always changes how your heart pumps, how things, and your heart is extremely useful to you, right? Like you can't live without that thing. That's how that works, right? If something disrupts how it works, that is very bad for you, and that's why some people have to have pacemakers and things like that.
That's the closed circuit camera there. Yes, be careful. I can see the area ahead is riddled with cracks and holes. Creatures are pouring in ahead of you. Try to seal them out as best you can. I fear the main breach is even farther ahead.
Not to mention, we see here that the electricity is strong enough to literally turn these things, who are organic and stronger than normal humans, into ash. And you think that wouldn't just stop your heart? It would. It absolutely would.
Damn these injections. A small price to pay for immunity from the demon's toxins. Once you have sealed the breach and...
Yeah, but they're already dead or something rotting, so their cells are probably weaker. I mean, to a degree, yes, but they have to be functioning enough for them to actually still be able to move, right? So, I mean, to turn something into ash, that takes a very, very high voltage and amperage and all that. It takes a lot to turn something into ash that is organic. And it would take probably a while before it actually does start doing that. Take some adenosine, that'll solve your heart issues. I mean, there's lots of things you can do to stop the heart issues and things. We have plenty of methods. Don't worry about that. But I'm just saying, just from what I'm seeing here, that would be an extreme amount. People die from very minor amounts sometimes. And it doesn't have to do with them having weakened hearts or anything. It just has to do with the rhythm. It messes with the rhythm of your heart, which can cause it to stop due to having an offbeat rhythm and things like that. And this is clearly stronger than that, in my opinion. But, to each their own. I mean, we have our own opinions. And there's nothing wrong with that. I definitely accept your opinions, and I have mine. That's fine. We can definitely talk about this still and debate it all you want. I'm fine with that.
Help me direct power to Ravenholm with positive electricity and restore the
I mean, I myself have been shocked by a regular socket, right? Like regular ones in your house. And then I got shocked so hard that I started coughing up. I passed out and started coughing up smoke. Like smoke was billowing out of me, right? Like it probably killed me, restarted me, all in the same time. So that's kind of like the power that electricity can hold over you, right? Like a defibrillator. Same kind of deal. You defibrillate a random normal person while they're fine, it kills them, right? It kills them, and then you can do it again, and then it'll bring them back. But you know, it has nothing to do with like heart issues. It's just the amount of electricity disrupting your nervous system and how your organs work and stuff. That's how that works. So I'm kind of liking the fact that they hide enemies as well. That's kind of awesome. I kind of like that. Keeps some of the people on their toes when they're trying to loot around, you know. Although loot goblins, better be aware, there's some enemies out there that'll pop up out of nothing. I like that. Yes, and we need more of it in games. All right, that was pretty awesome. So what he did is he shot a nail into that canister and then threw it between the box to ignite it away from him. That was cool. I like that. if the Combine known about the Zen virus. I would assume they would, because they see all of these zombies and the head crabs and stuff around. It's not like they don't see them. They kill them every so often. Surely they know about it. It may not affect them, but surely they've seen it happen to somebody at least once, which would mean they know about it. I don't know. It's not like these things are coming up. No, the specific one, the head crab zombies, are separate things. Either way, they would have seen both, right? Like, we see it in the games where they come out and they head crab somebody and the Combine is standing there. No doubt they've seen it, for sure, in both ways. In taking over the world, they would have had to have seen it at least one time. But that's my opinion. I don't know. I'm not an expert. We're doing all this just to find out more stuff. And you know what? We'll probably look at another thing. Think Combine ever get infected? That's a good question. And I don't think we've ever seen a body that has it. Not that I can think of. I know they get head crabbed, right? And we have seen that. But as far as the infection, I don't think so. Not that I think we've seen, no. So maybe they are immune to that part, but just not the head crabs. I don't know. It very well could be. Maybe they just don't care about the virus because they're not affected by it. It's very possible. Head crabs are easy to be immune to. Thicker helmets. True. Facts. I mean, just wearing something big enough that they can't fit over you would just do the job in general. They can't be that strong, right? I mean, they can jump high, but so can house cats. Like, just put a spike on the top of the head. Yeah, I mean, really. I mean, those are the things that I would think of, for sure. Absolutely. That's something I would do, and I have thought about during the course of playing these games. Absolutely. 100%. I think it definitely would work and help a lot. And why don't other people do it? I don't know. Reasons? I mean, resources, sure. But there's cans, there's all kinds of crazy stuff. Bro, just. You could find a way to make a helmet out of cans, right? That's big enough and strong enough to freaking block a head crab. You could. Absolutely. 100%. Whether the Combine would let you have it, that's a different question. Sure, they still bite and scratch, but the main threat is the jumping. Right, exactly. And that's what that's why I agree with you on the helmet thing. And it doesn't have to be anything particularly strong. Like a thick piece of aluminum, they probably wouldn't be able to crush. And I'm talking a thick one, like very thick. I highly doubt they would be able to crush it. You know what I mean? Right. Or just a bucket. Right. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. But if you don't have steel because the Combine take all the steel and all you have is aluminum, right? Which is very soft, very moldable. But if you make it thick enough, does it really matter? Not really. It would be heavy and annoying, but it's better than being head crabbed, right? Just saying. But what about the poison crabs? They seem like they got stronger bites. No, definitely those would be another problem. You would definitely need stronger material for that. For sure. 100%. They 100% got thicker skin. That is true. Takes two. Was it two? Yeah, two shots of the shotgun. Absolutely. Or one double shot. Yeah, absolutely. They have way thicker skin. They do have poison. Still got to worry about that. But, that's a different thing to worry about. We were just talking about regular head crabs. But yeah, those ones would be a problem still. Very bad one. I mean, you still don't want to be anywhere near them, if you can help it. For instance, actually, I just thought of this. If you had a suit of armor, like knights back in the old days, would they be able to take it down? If you made them a bit thicker, yes, you would get tired. Yes, you would you'd be slow as hell, but look, you'd be very protected. Most likely to encounter normal head crabs. If you're running into the other variants, I think you got bigger issues on your hand. Yes, absolutely. Like getting out of the infested hell zone you got lost in. Yes, absolutely. And that's where I was getting at with that. Wearing a suit of armor would probably help, but again, you still might get scratched and poisoned. That is the biggest problem. So you'd have to figure out a way to do that. So maybe you put chainmail underneath your armor or something, right? Yes, it's very heavy, very hot, but you would probably survive. It is most likely you would survive if you did something like that. But the other thing you got to think about is, will the Combine allow you to have that? Definitely not. Right? Definitely not. If what they're here for is resources, they're not going to let you have resources they can take. That's kind of the point, right? But these are fun little scenarios that we can talk about. And I think it is an interesting subject, for sure. Poison head crabs can easily kill you with their venom. The only reason Gordon survives is because HEV suit has chemicals it can inject him to flush his system. Yes, exactly. And that's what I was getting at. If you don't have one of those fancy HEV suits, which you wouldn't, I mean, how many people in that world have them? Not very many. Guaranteed. Like, most of the main people in the world have them, right? But maybe not. And yeah, what would be your next alternative thing? Completely cover yourself so you can't get poisoned or take the venom. And it would require metal, it would be heavy, it would be hard, but you could do it. Maybe even leather. Very thick leather might do it. But again, just don't walk into the wasteland. I agree. That would be a bad idea. Stay the hell out of there. Especially with all the nuclear wastes that are around. That's a whole nother problem in of itself when you're out there. We saw that today when we were playing. Yeah. Agreed. Agreed, Control.
The transformer is problematic. I admit that I am not an expert in this kind of machinery. Still, I think it should be working.
the transformer is problematic. I admit that I am not an expert in this kind of machinery. Well, you know who is? Gordon definitely is. I'll tell you that for sure. Too bad this isn't Gordon. Just saying.
Soon. I hope your progress towards the breach is not too disheartening.
Gordon has the PhD and everything. I agree. I think he is the biggest brain out of all. That is my headcanon. I agree. 100% control. Gordon has witnessed man-made horrors beyond comprehension. Yes, 100%. And there's plenty out there that he still hasn't seen either, which is also extremely terrifying. I would have checked that vent too, just in case. Just saying. That was big brain. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I would have tried first. Before even getting the door done, I would have tried breaking that glass and sparking it over to the generator first. Chargement! There we go. I'm actually getting accustomed to seeing this chargement come up. It's quite fascinating, actually. Wait a minute, is this room? Or is this footage of him already being in this area? That's what I wonder. So there are, I presume these are infection guys that are trying to spread their infection to you. That's interesting and also extremely terrifying and worrisome. So, what are the implications of that? Would something covering you actually help prevent that or not? I wonder.
This next section of the game, Pitch Black, takes place in the 19th century part of the facility and introduces a couple of interesting things. There's a new acid spit.
Acid. Okay, so it's acid. Well, okay, acid's bad. I don't know how you would protect against that. That's just unfair and OP. I don't know what you would do about that. Could the Combine even do anything about that? Damn.
Zombie, which sort of works in cahoots with the more regular zombies to create more dynamic gameplay encounters. And these, I think they're apes or monkeys, sorry, biologists, that are really smart. So I guess in the story, Grigori had been, I guess, testing on them or experimenting with them with the serum, and they sort of became feral and quite intelligent. It may not come across in the gameplay, but those weren't scripted sequences when you see them jumping into the air ducts. They were able to basically evade you by running into air ducts, and they'd appear out of another one. So they try and flank you.
I've seen this in a bunch of other games. Yeah, it's crazy mechanic, and I do like it. It does make the gameplay difficult in a way that I like, because it's like, oh shit, where'd they go? Oh, damn. And into places you can't go, but you might be able to shoot them from.
Almost like the sort of assassins in the original Half-Life. You know, once you lost them, you didn't really know where they were coming from. And when I was playing, it was really interesting. Another part about this game, this part of the level, is that some of the textures here are unfinished. Sebastian said there was a lot of placeholder here. And also, because there is no dynamic lighting in Source, or at least this version they were using, some of these areas.
So settings and context, location, research, blockout, style guide alpha, style guide final. Okay. So these over here are an actual location that they went and filmed to base it on, which is kind of dope. I like it when they do that. Okay. Interesting.
Took a long time to work. It was pretty intensive, but he said it was worth it because in this chapter they were really starting to show the horror vibes of later chapters. And actually, one final note, you may have seen Grigori sort of injecting himself again and again with the serum to try.
Yes, we did. That was at the very beginning of this video, which was crazy. I was sitting here thinking, bro's just taking it directly from the head crabs. What is going on with that? Like, how could you just milk them and then just immediately inject yourself? That is insane. That's weird. That's not really how that stuff works. You kind of got to work on it and find some sort of thing that allows you to, you know, make it different in order to combat it, right?
And stop the zombification process happening to him. I guess ultimately it doesn't work. We got some of this concept art which shows that he sort of ultimately...
Well, no kidding. That's what we were just saying, is that it doesn't work because he's just taking some of the stuff. I mean, to a degree, that is how it works. Like with poisons and stuff, if you can dilute it enough and get it inside of you for periods of time, then you could essentially be immune to it. But not really. It just, you're able to fight it off a lot more effectively when you do that, right? So that's basically what Grigori was trying to do. And I get it, but, you know, it's not really how it works. That's kind of like the old world mythological kind of way of doing it. But there's definitely lots of things in history and people in history that have done such a thing, made poison concoctions that are watered down enough to where they can survive it, that give them enough once they recover to be able to almost be immune to it. They'll still have some lingering effects, right, from it, but just nowhere near as extreme, which is incredible, by the way, but it's not really like making a cure or some sort of immunity to it, right? It's not really how it works.
Succumbs and turns into what I think might have been the end boss of the game. Sebastian was a little bit vague about it, but sure looks like maybe you'll be fighting Grigori later in the game. Anyway, enjoy the gameplay.
How many situations do you think there were where rebels were turned into Combine? Of course, they'd first probe the minds of the rebel for all the info they can, but it would be a waste to get rid of someone who has the combat skills or luck to survive the firefight with a full Combine. Yeah, I mean, there has to be some instances of it, right? I mean, there are some exceptionally good fighters, even even in this world, even where we're at in Half-Life 2. There are people who can withstand them, take them down and stuff, but they would basically break their will. And the way they work with clones is they would probably just take some DNA and clone them. That's probably what would happen. After all, that's what you enlightened me to earlier, I believe. So that's probably what would end up happening. Now, whether the Combine have the ability to make the clones have the same capacity and mental abilities as the original person and the memories, I don't know. If they do, that's extremely terrifying. And that would just make them all the more stronger and way worse to deal with. I guess so. What I was saying is, yes, I do think it has happened, and they have thought of that, and they probably do. But they wait for someone who is strong enough, right? That would be worth their effort, so to speak, right? I mean, after all, the Combine, they really just kill people. That's usually their first action. So if they don't kill you or are unable to kill you for a long period of time, yes, they would probably try. They could do what they did for the brainwashing with the Combine, where they take the combat experience and beam it directly into the Combine soldier. Rip the guerrilla tactics from the rebel, slap it into the Combine doctrine, and all of a sudden the tricks that usually worked are not working. And in turn, the trappers are becoming the trapped. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. And we see that all the time, even in our world, we see that. People get wise every so often. And sometimes what should work doesn't. I mean, that's a fact. That is a empirical fact that things like that do happen. Um, it's like trying to outsmart the enemy, but you end up screwing yourself in the process. Yeah, no, absolutely, that does happen. And yeah, if they have the ability to just extract your memories, yeah, absolutely, they would be an extremely formidable foe without the need for the force they have. Like maybe that's why they don't wear so much armor, why they don't give a crap, because they can just, oh, I'll just make another one. Oh, I'll just take their tactics from this dude over here, and now we know everything they know. Like that's terrifying, and that gives you a huge advantage in combat. Absolutely, especially in a war. Yeah, absolutely. You got to remember, even the slightest thing goes wrong in any sort of combat situation, and they have the abilities of doing that, yeah, you're compromised immediately, and you are screwed, and you have to somehow come back from that, which is a very hard thing to do. Absolutely. The fact these zombies retain enough humanity to use weapons is scary. Absolutely. Like, how aware are they truly? I mean, clearly they have at least an ape like ability left, right? To be able to use weapons and things and not just be some sort of low intelligence animal. So, yeah, I mean, pretty scary. I mean, think about if they were able to just be around and actually be able to learn. That would be the worst. That would be the worst thing. It literally would be the worst thing imaginable. It really would. Especially since they don't care about their limbs, they don't care about each other. They don't. There's nothing you could do about it. Absolutely. Not to mention, we have these right here that are bioweapons. They literally have the ability to spit acid at you at a distance. Also. And this probably works on the Combine as well. Just saying. What's even scarier is headcrab zombies with guns. The special breed of headcrab that can link itself with their host's intel and able to use whatever weapon they were using too. Limited success. They're not going to be doing combat rolls and suppressing fire, but enough brain power to pull the trigger and get bullets in the general area of the enemy. Yeah, no, that's terrifying. Absolutely. Yeah. No, without a doubt. I mean, think about animals that we have now who have the intelligence to use weapons. If we gave them guns, yeah, they wouldn't do the same things, but yeah, they would they would totally screw us up if they were trying to, right? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, give a gorilla a gun, give it the understanding of how to use it, and then you attack them, and so they come to attack you? Yeah, no, absolutely not. I mean, yeah, absolutely.
I should warn you.
I mean, they did state in this video here that these creatures do have the capacity of apes or monkeys. Take from that what you will, but they were very smart animals. More than you would think. And they really are. Maybe not something like a dolphin, for instance. Dolphins are insanely smart. They can do math. They can do all kinds of things. That you can train them to remove mines in the oceans, like all kinds of things. And combine that with the ability of an ape or something. Holy crap. That is incredibly terrifying. And a disturbing thought, for sure.
There were experiments. Laboratory animals, you understand. They were part of the search for a cure. An antivenom. Some of the early tests failed. You may see the results in their brutal and degenerative glory.
Hell yeah. That was thinking smart. Wait. We go back here a second. Do you see this? Look at this. This pile of skulls right here. That is crazy. There's just a pile of clean ass skulls sitting here. So how smart are these damn things? And not only are they smart, but they're eating them. Okay. How many people do you think kept head crabs as pets? Apparently, all you need to do is remove the beak, and they're docile as a house cat. Yeah, apparently. But there's probably a good amount that probably did once they heard about it, but are they privy to the knowledge? How would they figure it out otherwise instead of just doing it themselves? That's the thing. Not a lot of information gets spread around, right? Except for between the rebels. So I would assume not very many, but it is a fact due to what we see in the games, even like we saw earlier. Yeah, there's definitely some people, and people are crazy enough to have all sorts of insanely dangerous animals, even if they're not something like a head crab, right? Some people want tigers, lions, whatever. Bro, yes, they can be docile, but they are still incredibly dangerous. They can kill you by playing with you, okay? They can kill you by accident. I just imagined a rebel lowering a head crab on a rope onto a combine soldier to kill them. Do you think that would be a viable tactic? Well, the combine do wear helmets, which are probably grafted to their head, so it probably isn't viable, right? If they could somehow remove the helmet, yes. Would they definitely unleash a bunch of this stuff? Yeah, definitely. If I was one of these rebels, I would absolutely try and capture like a ton of things and use them as a trap to kill a ton of them. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but zombie, they still get controlled. Okay, so they get controlled even though they still have the helmet on? Or do they have to break the helmet in order to mind control them? That's the thing. Like, are they strong enough on their own to break those things? These are the questions we need to know the answers to. If so, if it doesn't matter, if it's more like a psi kind of deal where they can just take over their brains or whatever, yeah, probably, and it would be just fine. It would be a normal tactic, right? I mean, maybe not normal tactic, but one that they would prefer to use if they could. But again, if you don't have protection from the head crabs, it's kind of hard to harvest them and keep them controlled and whatever and all that in order to not prevent an incident or an outbreak where it kills everybody, right? So they might just avoid it altogether, but I don't know. The helmet helps mitigate the damage the head crab does, but not enough to prevent it. Because you can hear zombies still using their radios, trying to call for help, and they can still pull their grenades in an attempt to kill themselves. Okay, true. Okay. So they're not completely mind controlled, but enough to where they want to, if they want to die, they'll do it. Okay. Okay, so the helmet doesn't really affect it, so they might have psychic abilities in order to control you. Mind control abilities once your head is on. Yeah. Okay. I mean, it in the lore of this world that would make sense. I get it. Sure.
abominations. The only advice I can give is...
Wait, they're lab-bred abominations. So that means somebody came here and actually made these things. The only advice I can give is that they seem particularly sensitive to light. Interesting. But if they were made in a lab, why would they be sensitive to light? That doesn't make sense because the regular ones aren't, right? We see them in the daytime throughout the game. What do we got here? The zombie got it worse than normal head crab zombies since they're more conscious and aware. Oh yeah, no, true. Facts. I mean, we've seen that. They talk, they freak out. Yeah. No, we've seen that throughout the series. Yeah, absolutely. No, they definitely are aware. We even saw a scene where one jumped right on a guy and he was freaking out even after it already integrated with him. And then I killed the head crab and then he died. So I gave him a mercy killing, but yeah, it's really still didn't make it any better for the guy. But yeah.
that they seem particularly sensitive to light.
Oh, dang. Hold up. What is going on here? Yeah, it's 1060. 1080. Huh. It's very grainy, though. Weird. I thought it was me, but it's not, I guess. I wonder if you could trick head crabs or head crab zombies by wearing a dead head crab on your own. That is a good question. And you know what? It all comes down to whether or not they can smell pheromones or anything, right? So maybe when you are head crabbed, you give off a certain smell or something, because they don't have eyes. They have to see some way. And I would assume that it would be like pheromones. Kind of like, xenomorphs, right? But in theory, then, you might not even have to have a dead head crab on you. You might just be able to smear a bit on you of what they secrete, which would allow it to happen. I don't know. That's a good question. That's a good question, Control.
You seem to be closing on the source of evil, brother. I'm sure the breach is just beyond these dark warrens.
Exactly, Control. Just rub head crab guts all over yourself and live among them as head crab king. Yeah. I mean, they probably won't listen to anything that you say or do, but I mean, you'd effectively be invisible to them, basically. Yeah, I can see that. Of course, the case doesn't work with xenomorphs because xenomorphs even kill them each other, so yeah. But, that's a different theory, different reality, different thing, but yeah. saw a vent. Did he see it, though? I don't think he did. I wonder where it went. That's where it went. It connects right there, and it goes around and behind him. I bet you. Watch. Yeah. See? There it is. It would be cool to encounter someone in Half-Life 2 that figured it out. Just a band of rebels living in a super dense area of headcrabs. The Combine can't be bothered to flush them out, since shelling clearly isn't working, and it would be too dangerous to send ground units without risking them. Yeah, but they would probably just send a bunch of aircrafts or something, you know? That's probably what they would do, or bomb the hell out of them, is most likely the thing that would happen. Unless, you know, they don't want to use the resources for it. But yeah, I mean, basically the Combine are just using the long game. That's what they're doing. They don't really give a shit about the people or what they're doing. They just want subject over them and then take whatever. But then they just flood them with man hacks. Yeah, I mean, for real. I mean, there's lots of ways they could deal with them. They could carpet bomb the whole thing, like we saw when they tried to kill us when we were on the boat. The little flying drones shred people to bits. Yes, yes, they do, and they probably would try that as well. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but in the long run, if that didn't work, then they would just send gunships to dump a bunch of bombs over the entire area. See if it kills them. That's probably what would end up happening. I mean, they did it for Gordon Freeman, so why wouldn't they do it for a bunch of rebels they want dead, right? Whoa. Wait a minute. Did he just kick a dude? Was that a thing? Did that just happen? Oh, no. Never mind. I thought we went fear with this one. I thought he just kicked him instead of using the gun to hit him. But no. Never mind.
Okay, so in the next chapter of the game, we start to sort of drift into the more...
Hey, Control, I have a question for you. So, do any of the other like enemies in the world in Half-Life have a problem with light, or are these the only ones? Do you know the answer to this? Let me know.
unfinished levels. Here we had to use a couple of junction maps to get to the area you're about to see, where we have a lot of combat, and they introduce a couple of new tools that you can use to utilize the electricity in new and interesting ways. And then ultimately it ends in a sort of a climactic shootout slash puzzle, which you'll see right at the end of this gameplay. But stick around at the end, because there's a couple of things I want to clear up once we're done here. Enjoy.
Brother, some of the hospital's wiring is hopelessly ruined, even with the power restored. You will want to find my charge gun. It is both a powerful tool and a weapon.
I wish they kept the cremator around. The cremator. What was that? I don't actually remember what that is. It might be something I remember, but like it's way back in my mind somewhere. Is it like a flamethrower? Is that what it is?
The mental institution has suffered in much the same way as the rest of the hospital. I wish to find a direct path here, but alas.
Big guys in green trench coat with white gas mask that use giant flamethrowers. Okay, yeah, okay. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, okay. They were in the street cleaners and the combine that torched people. Yeah. Okay, yeah. They were like in Warhammer. Yeah. Those guys. Both living and dead. To rid corpses from the street by atomizing them. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Wait, didn't we see something similar to that in one of the DLCs, right? Or, well, they weren't called DLCs back then, but it was like one of the armed forces ones, right? Didn't we see those in there? Opposing forces, I think that's what it was called, right?
The way is blocked.
Man, I'm trying really hard not to just laugh at this gun because it's literally just a BFG. It literally is just a BFG. That's all it is. It's a one-hit kill BFG. Uh, it's crazy. Oh wait, what is this? Oh, you can actually see a cremator head in Dr. Klein's office. I think it's in a big tube. Yes, 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 yes. We did see that. I think if we go back in the stream somewhere, we'd be able to see it. Yeah. Wait, does this gun automatically give itself more ammo by charging it? Interesting. Okay, control. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay. I was wondering because I was like, he just charged it with nothing. I was like so confused. I guess I just hadn't noticed because he hasn't used it all that much. But yeah, that makes sense. And there's the example and the proof right there. If I had just kept my mouth shut and just watched, I would have known. But anyway, that's just me being dumb. It's cool. By the way, if anyone wants to clip anything from tonight, absolutely go ahead and clip whenever you want while I'm streaming. Just to let you guys know, clipping is available. Go for it. Go ham. Bro, it's below you. Okay, you figured it out. I was just about to yell, bro, it's below you. Did you not see it? How could you not see that? But you know what? That's just A little bit of my ADD coming out. I was like, yeah. By the way, chat, I'm not being overly critical of this guy. I get it. He even said it earlier in the video. But I'm an old school gamer myself. I played Half-Life 2 before Steam existed. So I'm just telling you, letting you know, I've got that old school know-how as well. And that just kind of annoyed me a little bit. Speedrunning, I don't like speedrunning. I like to take my time, see everything, work everything out, see if I can exploit things. That's the way that I play. Well, damn.
Ha ha!
It's our boy!
Hello, brother. We meet again at last.
Let's go! So this is the lab that made all these creatures. Right here. Interesting. So I'm guessing none of these other creatures are out in the world anywhere else other than Ravenholm.
This is the passageway to the lab I've been using.
Wait. Did he just say the lab that he's been using? Did he create these damn things? Is that what we just learned? Did our boy just create these damn things? Huh? Alright, let's find out.
It holds the serum I need for my injections. Charge the forklift, brother, so that I can access the window. I will open the door.
Even if he did, you know what? He's our boy and I stand by him. He did nothing wrong.
Door from the far side.
have to say it. He left us. He left us. Bro just went up a forklift and left us to fend for ourselves. Still not the wrong problem. Still not a problem.
Here, brother! Here! The door is open! Hurry! Praise the light. Let us hurry now.
Wait. So he just said praise the light. Praise the light? Are we one of his followers? Yeah, no, that's right. He must be one of the followers who lived here. That's crazy. That's interesting.
Here's the old lab, brother.
But this is the only instance in which that has been known. And by the way, they just brought up the controls. That's crazy.
Okay, that's all the footage we have. Thank you so much for watching this. Thank you.
Oh, so that was it. So that was the big reveal right there. That he would be. Got it. Interesting. So, yeah. Okay. So why didn't they just slap this out there? You know, today's world would have just slapped this out there, finished or not. Like, it's crazy. And to see how balanced and finished it is here, it would have been fine. Why didn't they just do it? I don't get it. Man, it was a missed opportunity.
So much to Arkane and Bethesda and Valve for being so cool with us sharing this and ultimately making it happen. Thank you so much to everyone for being so patient in us getting this out. Game preservation is a huge part of noclip's mission, and you know, personally as a Half-Life fan, I know it meant so much to be able to sit down and play this game. It's like absolute bucket list style stuff, and I know that there are people out there who are more passionate about Half-Life than I am, so getting this footage out there I know means a lot to them and it means a lot to me.
Bro, we need not just footage. We need this game to come out. If they want to, it would sell out. If they just finished it now and did it. Bro, are you kidding me? It would kill. Why don't they do it? It's not a budget problem. Most of the game is done. They have a working model of it. Polish it up, slap it out there. Right? That's their standards now. Huh? Just do it. What is stopping you? I don't get it. But, you know, that's my 2 cents.
If you like what we do at noclip, head over to patreon.com/noclip and help us out and help us fund more documentaries. And if you don't, that's fine too. Thank you so much for caring about the work we do. Hit subscribe, like, do all that sort of stuff. Who knows what next?
You know what? He just said it. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff for me. I very much appreciate it. And we'll finish this up.
Gameplay showcase we'll have in the future. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.
Alright, well, now we've just got credits, so. And all that coming down here. Alright, chat, we're going to take another maybe $5, and then we're going to come back, and we'll probably watch a little bit of something, and then we'll call it a night. Alright, chat, so I will see you here in 5. About like 5 to 8 minutes. All right, chat, and then we'll pick